Like Mark Twain once said, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. And that is what I would like to show you today. How to kickstart a healthy eating program for weight loss that works for your life. Are you ready to start losing weight? Well, the first thing you gotta do is start eating healthy. Many people these days are plagued by sickness and weight gain and fatigue. And many times it's our lifestyle that dictates how we feel and how we are. And many times all the time, what we eat is a big part of our lifestyle. We need to do healthy things if we want to be healthy. And I'm here to tell you that with a little planning and effort, weight loss through healthy eating can be attainable and it doesn't have to be miserable. And so I'm going to show you today some tools that you can use to get started and get your goals going so that you can maintain a plan. I'm going to explain to you what kinds of foods to eat and which ones to avoid. And I'm also going to give you some healthy eating tips and resources to keep you motivated and get you going. And sometimes the hardest part is getting started, so let's jump right in. So let's start by making a commitment to ourselves to strive for our best each and every day, because no matter what goes down today, even if it's a double chocolate ice cream cake, a new day will surely come. And a new day has come in the age of technology. And it's going to be a help in our success. The internet makes it possible for us to research and gather information for us to make healthy choices for our lives. And it's also made it easy for us to track and maintain weight loss goals and figure out what those goals should be. Let me explain. You can use web-based support sites to help you with these goals, or you can use applications that are known as apps that we use on our laptops, our PCs, our smartphones, iPads, tablets, whatever you like. They can be synced, or however your tech savviness is, go for it. The important thing is that you choose one, you get a profile, you put your numbers in, and you start tracking your calories. And I'm going to start now by telling you about a website that I use successfully called sparkpeople.com. At sparkpeople.com, this site is one where you can track your weight loss, your calories, you can track the food you eat, the fitness that you do, and many other things. And there are many other weight loss sites and many other sites that you can use and work similar, but I find this one to be exceptional and friendly, and it's a great start. You can watch your progress, and they offer many articles and web blogs and videos on fitness and nutrition and weight loss. They're by degree doctors, nutrition and fitness experts. They also provide a mobile app too if you're interested in that. So what you're going to need to start here is you'll need your weight, your height, along with your ideal weight range for your own personal self. This can be easily obtained at calculator.net. And at calculator.net, you just go to the ideal weight range, and it'll give you, all you do is put in the numbers and it'll give you your weight range. You decide in that healthy weight range for your height what you want to go for. Enter the numbers into your preferred app or website support, and it'll give you, with all your adjustments and stuff, you should have your goal weight, the timeline for your goal weight, and your calorie intake for the day. So now all you got to do is put in your food, and it'll track the rest, depending on how you adjust it. But it is important to know and to remember that it's not all about calories when we're talking about healthy eating and weight loss. You also need to know what kinds of foods you should eat. Sorry to break the news, but not all calories are equal. Well, technically they are, but let me tell you what I mean. All foods have calories, but not all foods affect our bodies in the same way. When we eat foods with a lot of sugar and high fructose, it creates a insulin spike in our blood. So we store fat and we're hungry faster. For example, if you eat a chocolate cake with a lot of sugar, 40 minutes, 50 minutes later, you're going to be eating the last piece of that cake, and you've lost out here because all you've gained is calories. Some foods have more calories compared to the amount consumed. This, in other words, this is more calorie dense food. Some foods are more calorie dense than others. For example, take a portion of Cheetos, 12 or 16, and a large apple. A large apple has about 50 calories. The Cheetos have about 160. Problem is, they're about the same size, but look how much more calories are in the Cheetos. The Cheetos also have sugar in them because they're processed. They're going to make you hungry, and you're going to go back for them again, and you probably are going to eat more than just a portion, as opposed to the one fibrous apple that's going to give you a lot of fiber and not make you hungry. Talk about a food trap. But we can avoid these food traps by knowing what foods to embrace and knowing what foods to avoid. So the answer here is to eat more real foods. More real foods, that's it. Such as non-GMO and organic foods are best. And we need to get rid of, take out those processed foods out of our lives. I call them fake foods, and I call them fake foods because they're made in a factory with everything taken out. All that's left are just calories from sugars and whatever preservatives are left over, and that's nothing our body needs or is ever needed. But don't get me wrong, you still need to count calories, especially in the beginning, so you know where your calories are coming from. Say that you have a snack and you didn't realize how many calories was in that snack. You can either adjust the portion size or change the snack. Now you know where your calories are coming from, and you can adjust them and figure out what works better for you. So let's talk a little bit about what not to eat before we really get into some good eating tips. So the first one's a doozy, and I would suggest this, but if not, at least look into it. This is one big thing to think about is to stop eating bread, grains, and pastas. Bread, grains, and pastas. There, I said it. Nobody wants to hear don't eat breads, grains, and pastas and cakes. But at this point, I'm going to stop and recommend a book. This is called Wheat Belly. It's a #1 bookseller, New York bookseller list, called Wheat Belly by Dr. William Davis, MD. And in his book, he explains the more and more evidence that's coming out that whole grains and all grains are a little bit more detrimental to our health than we've had thought before. And he goes into the science of this. And what's even better is he's got alternative ideas, and he's also got alternative recipes if you're interested, if you're feeling like you want to try this. The grains of our ancestors are certainly not the grains we consume today, but this is a topic for another discussion at another time. But if you really want to start eating healthy and you're beginning, it's best to at least start reducing and limiting the grain intake. So you can just start off with simple things like not eating as much of it, or taking the buns off of things, just eating the burger, or eating your eggs and bacon without toast and eat fruit instead. Make simple changes. Here's a good opportunity for you to look online for some recipes that might interest you. So next, we're going to talk about sugar. I'm going to get the worst things out of the way first here. I know. Sugar is delicious, but we gotta limit sugar here, guys. We know that our blood sugar is gonna spike if we eat sugar, so we shouldn't do that. But there's good news. There's alternatives. It's called, here's a couple of two top ones that I recommend real quick. It's stevia and xylitol. And these two are natural extracts that do not cause our blood to spike nearly, or our insulin to spike nearly as much as any other sweeteners. And they're comparable in taste and baking, and different ones for different things. But there is some good news there. So perhaps you're asking, what should I eat? Well, let me give you some ideas about some good foods to eat. So we're going to start with, let's eat foods low in calories, ones that are, compared to the amount of food on your plate, are low in calories, like veggies and fruits. And this is going to keep you satisfied longer. We can call these cheap foods because you can eat a lot of them and they don't take away very much out of your calories for the day. So like you could eat 5 bowls of broccoli, I'm being sarcastic, and still have 50 calories, only 50 calories. I know I'm really being sarcastic, but you could eat a ton of broccoli and only have some calories. And that's a big benefit when you're on a diet, because you're trying to fill your body up. Veggies should definitely be the biggest thing on your new items list. And the good news there is that there's tons of veggies and lots of different combinations that you can make with veggies. Just make sure you go for organic and no pesticides, please. Other real food snacks that are great are seeds and nuts, and the butters like apple butter and sunflower seeds and almonds. Also, dried fruits and veggie chips are also a crispy option that you may not have thought of before. And don't forget about the eggs and the dairy. Just make sure they're free range. And also a note to be careful is the calories on the cheeses and milks. If you really like cheese like me, just make sure that you watch your calorie intake. Don't let this be a sabotage. Have a snack, but don't overeat those. Anyway, but speaking of fat, fat has a bad name these days. And our brain loves fat, especially good fat. You could say, I guess, that smart people eat fat. So you should eat butters and coconut oil and olive oil as long as they're organic. That's the key here, because of all the hormones. We don't really need hormones. I wonder if hormones have calories. I don't know. But anyway, let's not forget a big part of our diet should be lean meats and fish. Of course you want to opt for the grass-fed beef and chicken and fish. Well, not fish. Not grass-fed fish. Maybe wild-caught fish. Anyways, you get the point. But in getting that point, don't forget that eating lean meats as opposed to the fattier versions is going to be beneficial, so that you don't go over on your calories. You don't want to sabotage your calories because you're eating the fattier version of something. So we're going to go through a couple of tips that will help you with some of these good foods that you are now armed with. Go through your kitchen and let's get rid of all those processed foods. Those are the worst things. Even if other people live in your house, if you bring in good stuff like meats and veggies and you encourage it, it's going to be a lot better for you. Famous fitness coach Shaun T recommends what he calls free food. And this free food is stuff like spices, except for salt. Watch your salt, mustard, coffee, tea, herbs. Those are things that you can add forever of and not worry about it. There's a couple of other things that you can look up too. And remember, if your kitchen is full of healthy foods, you're gonna eat healthy foods. Trade those trade the chips in for dried okra chips. Trade the regular beef for grass-fed beef. These little things are going to make a big difference. Everything counts, and you're going to notice in the end your pantry is going to be completely different, and you won't even know what happened. So I have a question: who likes to drink? Who gets thirsty? I do too. If you're like me and many other people, we like to drink sodas and energy drinks and coffee with cream and sugar, but we can't do this anymore. Sugar is not good, and drinking is a big deal here because drinks have calories, and big time too. So if you want to drink coffee and tea, sweeten it with stevia or xylitol. But really here, the key is drink lots of water. Water is one of the major, biggest free foods ever. You can never drink too much water. And the more water you drink, the better, because guess what? It boosts your metabolism and it also keeps you full longer, all day. Like, so you get hungry, drink. It makes you feel full. Personal testimony, it really works. So I hope you see a pattern here. The real food and organic food and non-GMO food. In order to stay healthy, you have to eat foods that are not fake. So, and here's a couple more tips for eating these healthy foods. Make sure that you're checking your serving sizes. There could be 50 serving sizes or there could be 50 servings in one box of something, and it could say 160 calories, but make sure you know that's per serving so that you don't get caught in that trap thinking that the whole box is 160 calories when it's really 160 times 50. Also, make sure you're checking your portions. You have to know, in order to get your calories right in your tracking, you have to know the correct portions. So use measuring cups and kitchen scales to help you get the right portions of all your foods for your recipes and your serving sizes. And also check the ingredients on labels. Less is better here. Forget the stuffs with names you can't even say. Are they even words, much less foods? I don't know. Well, less is best here for sure. Also, eat a good big breakfast with protein and fiber, like eggs and bacon and avocado and peppers. That's protein and fiber for you. And believe me, if you're eating real foods and real veggies and real meats, you're not going to have a problem getting your fiber intake for the day. And lunches, they don't have to be complicated. You can even prepare lunches ahead of time so that you're not at the McDonald's drive-thru the next day because you weren't prepared. Make sure that you're always logging in all your food. Don't forget anything, and make sure your portions are right. And if you feel like snacking, and you shouldn't be snacking, drink water, number 1. Go for a walk. Reward yourself, but not with food. Reward yourself with maybe a haircut or nails done. Look at a Shape magazine and get some motivation there. Or look at an old fat pic, whatever deters you from the temptation. As the former famous Biggest Loser coach Jillian Michaels says, she asks you to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And I know myself that if you ask yourself that, you're going to come up with a great answer that's going to be worth it. So here's another little pointer. Many people are addicted to the scale and weighing themselves way too much. Scales can be misleading, and they can be discouraging because of our water weight. It fluctuates during the day. So just weigh yourself once or twice a week at the most, at the same time of day, and with an empty stomach. And you can see your progress properly. Okay guys, I'm going to now give you a super weapon in your weight loss arsenal and healthy eating arsenal. And I've already alluded to this, but this is what it is. Go and search online for recipes that have the ingredients you want to use or the way you want to cook, and you will come up with a plethora of websites with lots of recipes and ideas for cooking that fits you, that you like. And I know if you look, you're guaranteed to find something you'll like. And I know it's hard to find time for all this. I know none of us ever have time, but if you do take the time to plan and make an effort, you're going to save time, you're going to save money, you're going to save doctor visits. And what's more important than saving those things? You need those for your family, and we don't need doctor visits at all. We could save that time for other things too. So it's well worth the effort. Now let's recall what we've learned. I've showed you how to start a healthy eating lifestyle that's meant to be adjusted for your life. I recommended some helpful tools to keep you motivated. And finally, I've given you some resources to encourage you and to inform you along the way in the future. The key to success is to find what you like. And if you don't like it, don't do it. Change it up. Remember, life has an adjustment key. Use it. And remember to take it one step at a time. Don't go all crazy and get overwhelmed and fumble over yourself. It's hard to start a new lifestyle. Remember, you're changing a lifestyle or a lifetime of bad eating habits. And it'll take some patience to get over those mistakes and setbacks. But the reward is well worth it when you see the results and you get those results. As my favorite motivational coach, Jillian Michaels, said in her words, if you want results, they don't come for free. And my hope is that you will find what works for you to keep you healthy and looking good so that you can be the best you can for yourself and for the people around you. Thank you very much.